What is GNU Social? Part 2. Introduction to GNU Social and Mastodon Social. Welcome to Mastodon and GNU Social, and PostActive, and any other various configuration of StatusNet. There's a lot going on here, so let's go over the basics. GNU Social is a federated social network. This means that the network is built by many individual servers that can communicate with each other. One way to think of this is like email. Someone with a Gmail account can send emails to someone with a Hotmail or GNU account. GNU Social works on a similar level, though instead of private communication, it features microblogging, or public social network features. GNU Social functions through a tool suite protocol called OStatus. The primary purpose of GNU Social and Mastodon Social is microblogging. Since Twitter is the most popular microblogging service, we'll explore GNU Social's functionality through a few Twitter analogies, albeit confusing ones. Since Twitter is a centralized single-server network, users can't communicate with other networks, like, let's say, Facebook. It has a high barrier of entry, and you can't see everyone's conversations. If you don't follow people, you're most assuredly missing out on a lot of great content. And if you're banned, that's it, you're done. On GNU Social, anyone can set up a server. Let's say John Smith wants to set up a server, so he decides to start one called Bologna Social, or Bologna.social. He really likes bologna, and wants a community specific to discussing the delightful delicacy. He decides he wants his username to be Bologna Baron. John invites several of his friends to his new server, and they all discover and follow each other from the public timeline, or local timeline. The server gets more popular because people love talking about bologna, and users begin to follow each other. You'll notice a few different timelines on your sidebar. The first is the home timeline. This is only the people you follow. The next is public/local timeline. These are all of the users on Bologna Social. Since they're part of the same server, or node/instance as some users call them, they probably share a similar subject interest. The third timeline is the whole known network, whereas Mastodon Social calls it the federated timeline. John gets tired of talking about bologna sometimes, so he tells his friend Jane on salad.world to follow him. John's full username, OpenID, is actually @BolognaBaron @BolognaSocial. He tells his address to Jane, and Jane follows him, and John follows her back. Suddenly, the Bologna Social whole known network timeline shows Jane's posts to everyone. And the same thing happens to Salad World with John's. The whole known network is quite a literal name. It's literally everyone from the federated GNU Social timeline that users on the local server follow. This can seem a little chaotic and confusing at first, but it's actually quite cool. It allows you to break outside of the local server bubble and see what the whole world is talking about. You can make new friends or discover new interests. Odds are, if someone on your server follows someone from somewhere else, you may actually have something in common. Whole known network allows you to discover that commonality. Discoverability is tough on centralized networks like Twitter, but GNU Social allows many people to discover others from all over. And you know what? Sometimes you'll find people who bother the hell out of you. If you find someone who annoys you though, you can just block them or mute them. If you are your server's admin, there's also a series of tools you can use to block, silence, or sandbox troublesome users from other networks. Or if you're lazy, just block entire other servers. However, it's important to remember that federation works best when you are connected and allow communications between all servers. Since there's not a central council of authority, many unique things can happen. The first is conversation, the second is debate, and the third is conversion. The users have all the power on GNU Social, and should remember to use it to create the experience that they would like. There's been many instances of extremists becoming more understanding or moderate due to the potential to communicate across cultural boundaries. And that's pretty cool. One final thing to mention. Every server may have its own appearance, its own software, or its own plugins. It's highly configurable, and if you're a go-getter, you have a real opportunity to make it the place you want it to be. Some people like Classic Interface, some people like Kvitter, and some people like Mastodon Social. All these are different tools to allow you to connect to the Fediverse and communicate the way you'd like to. Remember, if you experience any technical difficulties, don't be afraid to reach out to Mikhail. He's the technical janitor of GNU Social and Mastodon Social and would be more than happy to answer and solve all of your problems. Anyways, enjoy your baloney posting, and I hope to see you soon on shitposter.club.